So it is a pleasure to speak to you. You have a lot that's going on, and you have so many wonderful projects that's to service the community. And we have to start off with, we all know about Bel-Air. You was the associate producer for that, and now that's going to be made into a 2-season TV show so far with Peacock. So congratulations for that. And then now we have, how did that feel? It's like it's getting picked up. Everyone will see it. It was a dynamic trailer.
Oh, it feels really good. I mean, I'm just blessed and lucky to actually get the call to be a part of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, first and foremost, just getting the call to even help with that project, and not knowing what it was going to turn into. It feels really good to actually see it all come to fruition and see it actually, get made, get funded, and get picked up by the guy who we all hoped would notice it.
Very true. Now, what is it overall that draws you to a project?
Really, I guess what draws me to a project, because I don't accept everything, it's going to be a couple of things. The potential landing zone for the project, right? With Bel-Air, the landing zone was huge. Right? Obviously, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that idea, Will Smith, that's an enormous landing zone potential. And then the other is just, my personal involvement. Like, could I meet other people on set? Could I pull them into my productions that I want to do? How is, what will, if I'm an actor, will it be good footage for my reel? Things of that nature. But yeah, overall, that landing zone and the potential for what the project can do is how I really make the decision.
I also have to talk about Sapiens. This is huge. This is a project. It's still in development. You're working through the phases. You're trying to get money to fully fund this into a movie. But this is artists with superpowers, and they have these artistic abilities in their struggles within each other, and they're also trying to fight the bad guy who is trying to take everyone's powers for himself. Right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, it's incredible also because you include actors with disabilities as well. It's an all-inclusive film that is out there for the community. It's meant to serve people of color, people we don't normally see on screen until like this big boom all of a sudden. But you've been booming way before it was trending. So can you talk about this project and what it really means to you?
Absolutely. I mean, this could be the long answer or the short, concise one, right? But all in all, the most important part of that project specifically is its method and its development, right? So what we're doing on the nonprofit side is we're engaging the community and finding artists in some of these communities that would never get their stuff showcased. So we're trying to elevate their status and put them in the movie and showcase them as superheroes, right? With that being said, it allows for product placement, it allows for business placement. So the method in its development is an important part for me, but the story, everybody loves superhero movies and everybody just loves movies. That's something that's going to transcend boundaries. It's going to transcend cultures and countries and communities. Everybody loves a superhero movie. With that being said, one second, sorry. I'm actually zooming on my phone. And I just got a call, sorry. So with that being said, that story is going to draw people in from all kinds of ways, draw interest in after the film is made as far as getting sold, and draw interest in as far as getting more people involved in the businesses involved. Because, when you come in and you walk in and say, hey, you want to put this business in a superhero movie? Eyes light up, their ears perk up, like, what are you talking about, So, the method in its development is very near and dear to my heart. And then on the film side, I got to act in it. I got to produce the film, so, and the potential landing zone for a superhero film is always, giant.
So what was it? Is it the concept? Oh, was it the development? Was it the fact that it was superheroes and magic that drew you first? Or was it the meaning behind it?
What drew me first was superheroes and magic, right?
Mhm.
So it was my friend from high school. I just had moved to Kansas City. He threw out on Facebook, "Hey, I wrote a script and I want to make this into a movie." And he already had a story, a character breakout, right, of the different classes of superheroes. And I took a look at it. I
Mhm.
was like, that is very interesting. Like, let's have a meeting because I'm dabbling in the film industry right now. I kind of want to see what this is. So we had a meeting. We hadn't seen each other since 2007. This was in 2017. So we hadn't seen each other in about 10 years.
Wow.
And he told me all about the superhero movie. It's got a 400-page mythology written behind it. It's got a children's book that's available on Amazon that actually gives you the base. And then so I was already bought in just based on the story and the mythology alone. And then he told me his plan about his method to getting it developed and his method to getting it produced, which is a community initiative. And that was, that was what hammered it home for me. That's what internalized it for me, right?
Right.
I was like, this is going to happen, and I'm going to put 100% dedication into this, no matter what. So the story drew me in, and then the method and its development solidified it for me.
Right. So what stage are we in now? I know the concept trailer was released.
Mm-hmm. So it's 3 phases, right? Phase 1 was a demonstration, a musical short called Disarmed, right? Where we brought 2 opposing communities together and we had them engage together in an art project, which was the film, right? So that was phase 1. Phase 2 was the trailer. So now we're in between phase 2 and phase 3. We're using the trailer to campaign to show a demonstration of our production quality, right? And a demonstration of what our production quality could be if we get funded for phase 3. So phase 3 would be the full feature film. So right now we're in between phase 2 and phase 3.
Wonderful. Congratulations for accomplishing the phases, though.
Thank
That's
you.
really great. So also we have to talk about, you're the co-founder of, it is FaceKC. It's an organization that brings people together from kind of disadvantaged communities and to celebrate art, and also it was in the paper recently that it stopped what it could have been a shootout between 2 people who, it was a misunderstanding where they thought, the other guy was chasing him or tailing him, and, they was ready to go at each other, but they realized they was going to the same set. So that itself was just like, oh, that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
Can
So, for sure. So for that story, so that actually happened about 3 or 4 weeks after the Disarm shoot. So one of the members of the community that was facing opposite, the police, he was on his way to a relative's house in a neighborhood, and he noticed that the car behind him was following him everywhere that he went. Right? I was like, wow! Every time I make a right turn, this car behind me makes a right turn. So what he did is he pulled over to the side and let the guy go past him. And then he realized that every turn that he was about to make, the car in front of him was making. So so now, the tables have turned. The guy in front now, he stops the car and he gets out and he's like, "Are you following me?" And he's got a pistol in his hand, right?
Right.
The other guy sitting there, he draws his pistol because he sees that guy, an armed conversation about to happen. And then he looks out the window and he goes, "Hey, don't I know you from the video shoot?" And then the guy was like, "Yeah." And then they put their pistols away and they started laughing like, "I can't believe we almost did this." And these are, not only are we trying to bring together 2 opposing sides, but just different neighborhoods of the Black community, right, in Kansas City that don't talk to each other, that would never work with each other. In this case, they had worked together before, and then they came together they came together on the street and avoided a potential violent interaction.
Right. So what would you say was you explained the reasoning behind what it was about, but what was the initial, would you say, moment where you realized, I'm going to put together this organization? It needs my everything, people need my help. How can I be of service?
That first meeting that I had with my partner, Koalition, that very first meeting, I knew that this was my calling. I myself, I'm biracial, right? And I don't have any memories of my parents being together. I come from a Black female and a white male, right? So I spent like first half of my childhood with my mom, and then in middle school, I moved with my dad into a white suburb. So I've seen all of these different types of worlds, and unity is just something that I've never really like been exposed to. I've always seen and experienced personally this deep divide and deep separations between people, and I'm tired of it. So instead of just complaining, I'm just creating a world where I can do something about it, So
I like that. That's really good. Now you're an actor as well.
Mhm.
You go by Tehran. Is that right?
Tehran.
Tehran. Just making sure I pronounce it right. What was the meaning behind the name?
So Tehran is actually my middle name, right? Okay. So that's my real middle name. So it's just me going by my middle name instead of my first name. And then Mac is short for McCartney. So Tehran Mac is my acting credit name.
Okay.
I did that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have a day job that, in the medical industry. And if someone searches my name, and they're going to see it after this, but if someone searches my name at the time, I didn't necessarily want them to know that what I was doing in acting and all that.
Right.
But also just acting requires me to access a completely different part of my brain, almost becoming someone else. Mm-hmm. So just being Tehran Mac as an actor on set really helps me dive into the roles that I need to. Corey McCartney is the producer. Tehran Mac is the actor. I know it sounds a little abstract.
No, but, it works. It's two different minds that's functioning on two different levels. So I was wondering, as an actor, do you use that producer mind when looking at scripts and looking at projects that you want to act in?
I can't help but do it a little bit, as I'm reading a script, like, hey, I wonder where they're going to get this location. I wonder where they're going to get wardrobe for this, Mm-hmm. So I do that naturally, but no, when I am an actor, I take the acting role very seriously. I do believe in staying in your own lane on set. So you'll never see me try to take over production or anything like that as an actor, although I am watching everything, right? So I was just on a commercial shoot last week, and then after the shoot, after everything's wrapped, everyone's hanging out, eating food. I told these guys, man, you guys are impressive. You guys are an impressive production crew. I wish my crew was this impressive as your crew, So yeah. I take every acting role very seriously though, and compartmentalize that.
What would you say has been your greatest lesson as a producer and an actor?
Well, I guess I started out as an actor. So I guess, the greatest lesson is not to take it too seriously. I took a master class with Samuel L. Jackson. I've actually taken this class twice. And he makes a comment at one point. He's like, man, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? What's the big deal? They say action, you say the lines, you say it the way you're supposed to say it, and then they say cut, and then you sit there and wait. I don't understand why everybody makes such a big deal out of this. And so I think it's important to remember that, because people like to really dive in and really take all these roles seriously. Another example, Denzel Washington, when he was talking about his work with what's his name, the lead singer of 30 Seconds, Jared Leto. When he was working with Jared Leto really dives into these roles and he really takes it seriously, right? Everybody knows Denzel is a serious actor, but Denzel is just like, nah, he didn't try that stuff with me. He didn't do that stuff with me.
He knew not to go there.
Right. So, I try to keep those things. So that's probably the biggest lesson. It's just not to take it too seriously and just compartmentalize and do your job. Biggest lesson as producer is to be that synergy, right? I'm already that way naturally, and it took my writer and director to really explain to me, man, what we need you to do is be synergy. There's a lot of people that you got to get on the same page, many different aspects, and it's up to me to be the glue to synergize everyone's relationships to keep it moving forward. So, I'm learning how to get better and better with that on every project.
Have you also decided whether or not you wanted to write more?
I've decided that I want to, right? And, I have a project that's in development. I can't talk about it, but right now my credit is story by, along with someone else. I haven't actually, started keying in the text yet, but I'm trying to work to that point where I feel confident enough that I can start doing that. So that's something that'll be in the future.
Right. And I was wondering for Face KC, what do you want its legacy to be?
The legacy, at the end of the day, and if I'm being completely candid, I want to reduce violence with Face KC. I want to, have a hand into reducing the amount of gun violence that we see in this country. So we have plans to move this from Kansas City to St. Louis to Richmond, Virginia to Chicago, and maybe even in conflict zones overseas, right? That's my biggest legacy that I want to leave. It's like everywhere that this organization goes, we see a reducing gun violence with the communities that they touch.
Right. And for regular people watching, where can they find Face KC for more information?
FaceKC.org. FACE KC.org.
Wonderful. Yep. And also for Sapiens, is there any GoFundMe that we could do?
As of right now, not a GoFundMe. Typically with a GoFundMe or Kickstarter like that, you have to actually reach your goal to get any money. We found that out real quick when we did a Kickstarter for the trailer, right? So it took a lot of phone calls to actually reach that goal, because the clock was winding down and we hadn't reached our goal, and it's like, hey, we need you to donate money into this thing right now, because if you don't, we're not going to get anything. So there's nothing like that going on right now, but there is a way to donate to the organization. There's a donation page on the website, facekc.org. And then I think once we reach to a certain level of donations, if we need a Kickstarter to get that thing all the way home so we can move into pre-production, we'll do that. But that's not how it is at this time.
Wonderful. And as an actor, what kind of work or projects or even genres really inspire you to keep you going?
I like gritty drama, so films like Sicario or films like any Michael Mann movie. Essentially, I'm really motivated by that stuff. But I also, I also need to get more into comedy. My reel is very serious. I'm always a cop. I'm always someone's boss or a politician or something like that. I need some comedy. So, I got like a comedy role a few weeks ago, but I need to get more stuff like that. But, that gritty drama is really where I like to go. And I'm also a commercial actor and a voice actor too. So I do those things on a regular, so.
Wow, congratulations for everything. I look forward to Sapiens. I look forward to KCFace becoming a huge worldwide organization. And I look forward to seeing you more in movies and big TV shows and to write as well.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no I look problem. Forward to all those things too and talking to you about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to everything that you have in the future that's coming.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you so much.